The world woke up to flashing banners on every major network. U.S. Navy launches high-risk one-way mission to Hormuz, global oil markets in turmoil. The red ticker scrolled across screens, cutting into regular programming. Helicopter shots revealed immense warships slicing through foggy waters, their hulls shadowed by the early morning sun. Reporters, voices trembling, described a mission with no return ticket. In Washington, the Pentagon's press room was a scene of frantic activity. Photographers jostled for angles as the Secretary of Defense stepped up. "We are acting decisively," she announced, her tone steely. Outside, anti-war protesters gathered, their chants drowned by the rumble of low-flying jets. Social media erupted, speculation, fear, and conspiracy theories ran wild. Markets responded in real time. Oil prices spiked as investors scrambled for updates. Shipping insurance rates soared overnight. Everyone, from Wall Street executives to Middle Eastern fishermen, felt the ripples of this unfolding saga. The Strait of Hormuz, barely 21 miles across, had become the world's tightrope. Yet, behind the headlines, a deeper story brewed. A story of sacrifice, technology, and a nation's stark calculation. For the sailors now heading into the world's most dangerous waterway, every moment counted. At Naval Station Norfolk, the atmosphere was electric. Sailors rushed to their stations, boots echoing on metal decks. The USS Mason, an Arleigh Burke-class destroyer, stood ready at the center of the storm. Captain Laura Greer gathered her officers for a final briefing. The mission: pass through the strait, neutralize threats, secure Allied shipping. For many, this was not just another mission. It was a test of courage and skill. A one-way mission means what it sounds like: cross the line, and there's no retreat. For the U.S. Navy, these words carry a history of valor and tragedy. The crews knew that once they entered the strait, the risk of catastrophic engagement was real. Trapped between hostile shores and bristling with threats, their only option was forward. Commanders explained the concept in blunt terms. "This isn't a suicide run," said Commander Ellis, the tactical officer, "but it's not a guaranteed ride home, either." In war rooms, across the fleet, maps were marked with X's. Potential ambush zones, missile batteries, minefields. The route was plotted, but the plan was flexible. Events would unfold at lightning speed. Every sailor on board understood the stakes. If the Mason or her escorts were disabled, rescue would be nearly impossible. Air support might be hours away, and the nearest friendly port was across the open sea. The mission was designed for maximum impact, but also maximum risk. An unmistakable message to friend and foe alike. For the crew, the label "one way" wasn't just military jargon. It was a reality that settled into their bones as the ship's engines roared to life. The Strait of Hormuz is a gauntlet. The waterway is narrow, hemmed in by Iran to the north and the UAE and Oman to the south. Shoals and islands create natural chokepoints. The currents are swift and unpredictable. Surveillance drones buzz overhead, and every radar blip could signal danger. As the Mason approached the entrance, the crew went to general quarters. Sonar operators listened for the telltale click of mines. Lookouts scanned for fast-moving boats. Swarm tactics favored by regional militias. The bridge was awash in tension, every officer double-checking coordinates. "All stations report," barked Captain Greer, her voice steady. Each reply was crisp, nerves buried under discipline. Electronic warfare teams jammed signals and watched for cyber intrusions. The ship's Phalanx CIWS R2-D2 guns stood ready to shoot down incoming missiles. In the engine room, sweat beaded on foreheads as turbines pushed the vessel to maximum speed. Above, Seahawk helicopters circled, their sensors slicing through the haze. Every mile was a gamble. One wrong move, and the Mason could become a headline, or a grave. The Strait of Hormuz is, honestly, the world's energy lifeline. Up to 20% of global oil passes through its waters every single day. If you block the strait, fuel prices just skyrocket, from Tokyo all the way to London. That's exactly why every major navy keeps a close eye on this region. The stakes here are economic, political, and, well, even existential. For decades, the United States has guaranteed freedom of navigation in these waters, but the mission was always about more than just one ship or one battle. It was a signal to Iran, to the Gulf states, and to the entire world that these waterways will stay open. But you know, the cost was high. Every adversary understood the value of this narrow corridor. Mines, Anti-ship missiles and small boat attacks were constant threats. Negotiations had failed, and tensions really spiked after an Allied tanker was torpedoed just days before. Suddenly, the Masons' mission became the tip of the spear. If the US blinked, it risked not just regional dominance, but also the world's trust in American resolve. This was no mere show of force. The mission to Hormuz was a bet on the future, a desperate attempt to hold the line. Inside the Mason, adrenaline ran high. Petty Officer Ramirez checked her missile console again and again. "We could be on alert for hours," she muttered to her partner, Seaman Holt. "Stay sharp." Down in engineering, Chief O'Donnell wiped sweat from his brow. "Keep those turbines humming. We lose power. We're dead in the water." Captain Greer stood on the bridge, eyes fixed on the horizon. "Contact, bearing 120, announced the radar operator. A swarm of fast boats had appeared, weaving dangerously close. The ship's loudspeaker crackled. "This is the United States Navy. You are approaching a restricted area. Turn away immediately." The boats hesitated, then peeled off, but the tension remained. Below decks, the medics checked supplies. Bandages, morphine, tourniquets. No one spoke of it, but everyone knew the risks. Above, helicopter pilots kept their engines hot. "If we're hit, evac is on us," Lieutenant Kim reminded his crew. "No rescue coming." Each second felt stretched. For the Mason's crew, survival depended on nerve, training, and luck. As the Mason pressed deeper, intelligence officers pieced together a chilling picture. Satellite feeds revealed camouflaged missile batteries on the Iranian shore. Drones spotted suspicious activity near an island. Unmarked ships unloading crates by moonlight. Intercepts hinted at a plot, a covert delivery of next-gen anti-ship missiles. The real reason for the one-way mission became clear. The US Navy had evidence that a rogue faction planned to smuggle advanced weaponry into the region. Weapons capable of closing the strait for weeks. Normal patrols couldn't intercept the shipment in time. Only a high-speed, full-commitment push could hope to disrupt the transfer. At 02:15 hours, the Masons combat team sprang into action. "Prepare to intercept," Captain Greer ordered. Missiles armed, helicopters launched, and boarding teams readied for a lightning raid. The crew braced themselves. Their mission was not just to survive, but to prevent a global catastrophe. In the chaos, the Mason became a symbol, a single ship standing against the abyss. As dawn broke, the world watched the Mason's fate unfold. Reports confirmed the destroyer had engaged hostile boats and seized the illicit cargo. The rogue missiles never reached their launchers. The Strait of Hormuz remained open, but at a cost. 2 Allied ships were damaged, and several sailors wounded. The operation sent shockwaves through every capital. Allies breathed a sigh of relief, adversaries took note, insurance rates stabilized, and the price of oil dipped as tankers resumed their journeys. In the Pentagon, officials quietly praised the Mason's crew for their bravery and precision. The Navy's gamble had paid off, but just barely. For the sailors, the sense of relief was palpable. "We did it," whispered Ramirez to Holt, exhaustion and pride mingling in her voice. The ship's medical bay tended the wounded, and the captain addressed her crew. "History will remember what you did here. The world is safer because of you." Yet beneath the relief, everyone understood. The balance in Hormuz had never been more fragile. The Masons' one-way mission changed the calculus for navies worldwide. It proved that determination, technology, and sheer nerve could tip the scales in the most dangerous waters, but it also underscored the risks. The line between victory and disaster was razor thin. Global powers took note. New doctrines were drafted, emphasizing rapid response and high-risk interdiction. The mission's success emboldened allies, but also sparked debate. How many times could such a gamble pay off? The lessons learned would shape naval strategy for the next generation. For the sailors, the experience would linger. "We went in knowing we might not come back," Captain Greer later said. "But we went anyway. That's what the mission demanded." The world, though briefly steadied, remained on edge. The Strait of Hormuz would always be a fault line, a place where history could turn in a single night. In the end, the Masons' journey was more than a battle. It was a warning and a promise that the price of freedom is never paid just once.